There are places where memory lingers like salt in the air. Places where stories never quite finish and where the past leans gently against the present. Atop the cliffs of Eldenreach stood a cottage built of stone and silence. In that cottage lived Elric, the last lighthouse keeper of the old coast. He no longer lit the tower, for the sea had quieted and the ships had gone. But one light still burned each night, a brass lantern, older than memory, passed from keeper to keeper. Each evening, without fail, Elric lit the lantern and placed it in the window. Not for ships, not for sailors, but for something else. Something he no longer remembered, he would say softly to himself.
Fair, for whoever still needs a light.
He read by the firelight. He gardened. He listened to wind and wave, and each night the lantern flickered, golden and warm. But one evening, just as the sun slipped into the sea, the fog rolled in thick and fast, and with it came her.
Hello? Is this the lightkeeper's home?
She asked softly. Elric stood slowly and replied.
It was years ago, but I suppose the light still shines.
She stepped into the doorway, backlit by fog. She was young. Yet she carried the weight of centuries in her eyes. She did not shiver, though the fog was cold.
You're welcome to warm yourself.
Elric said.
Thank you. I followed the lantern.
She replied. They spoke little. She sipped the tea he offered as though it were familiar. Her eyes lingered on the lantern in the window.
It remembers, the lantern.
She said quietly.
What do you mean?
Elric asked, pausing.
It doesn't just shine.
She replied.
It remembers. Each flame is a memory that hasn't burned out.
The lantern flickered then, as if agreeing. Elric said nothing, but inside something old and long buried stirred. She stayed, for days or weeks' time softened around her. She told stories of storms no one recalled, of ships never named, of a promise made out of firelight long ago.
Do you remember her?
She asked one evening.
The one you promised to wait for.
I remember waiting,
Elric said quietly.
but not her face.
That's because she left it behind.
May said. And that night, the lantern blazed like dawn. Elric stood before it, eyes wide, memories flooded in. A girl laughing under starlight. A storm. A vow made beside a glowing brass flame.
May, it was you.
He said in awe. She smiled sadly.
You remembered. And now? I can rest?
She walked into the fog and did not return. The next morning the lantern sat cold, still, empty, and yet Elric smiled. For the first time in decades, the light burned within him. And so he wrote the stories, the names, the laughter. Not to hold on, but to pass on. The lantern now lived in ink and memory. Because some lights don't guide ships. They guide the soul.